In a world, 4 friends, 1 mission.
Mikey, what are you doing?
I'm doing the thing for the podcast.
It's not that hard, bud.
Dude, just say the name.
Fine. It's the Freedom Friends podcast.
Well, it's about the end of the week. You boys are sitting in a circle. We're all making intimate eye contact with sticks in our hands and drinks on the table. Sounds to me like there's only one thing we about to do. Johnny boy, why don't you tell that public what that is?
We're about to masturbate, boys.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. This is the Freedom Friends Master Debate where we come up with those problems and then we massage them till they go away. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Or something. Brought to you by warfightertobacco.com. You can use that code FTFO over there and get 15% off your order. wellness.us. Freedom Friends 25 will get you.
Quarter off your order.
That's what I'm talking about. And then you can go over to our affiliate link at Grill Your Ass Off. Use our affiliate link, or you can go to grillyourassoff.com/Freedom Friends Podcast. That's with 2 F's. And that'll get you 15% off your order over there. So, Justin, what are we about to palaver about for the next half hour or so?
Freedom Friends.
Please tell me you're doing this for the whole show.
Motherfucker can't do.
Yeah, Jazz, you can't. You can't do it for the whole show. The challenge has been laid.
Can I do it in a fucking different accent for the next 30 minutes?
Do you have a subject for us to solve for the general public? Or
So his accent just changed. Now he went to Southern Confederate General. Wow, son.
All right, boys.
All right, boys.
I want to know, what do you think shapes modern culture?
Social media.
Titties and bear.
Yeah, public opinion based on fucking, social media. Unfortunately.
What shapes modern culture?
Like, what's out there telling us what's in, what's out?
The fucking media.
Yeah, media and social media.
Media. Yeah, media if you want to do it broadly. But yeah. So news stories, public opinion, it all shapes it. Whether it's true or not, it doesn't matter.
I have a thought on this, but it's going to make so many people mad. I'm trying to decide if I actually want to say it.
That's the whole point, because we already
made the whiskey community very angry. So
you know what? I have something about that. Fuck them.
Yeah.
we were giving a goddamn opinion. If you don't agree with my opinion, that's fine. But I don't give a fuck.
Just, you want to solve it? Me and Scott have done this challenge many a times. We have bought Pappy, which is perfectly good whiskey, and we bought Woodford, and we tried both, and the Woodford was better. I've done it twice.
It was better for a quarter of the cost.
Yeah, I'll
almost
tell you,
way better, to be perfectly honest with you.
I'll tell you
Almost
this
way
right
better.
now, and here's my entire argument. If you think your whiskey's good because it was expensive, you're an idiot.
Dude, the guy at Buffalo, I've done the tour at Buffalo Trace. It's literally a marketing fucking ploy. It is literally, there's no difference really. It's where it is in the Rick House. That is all it is. And they slap a rate. And a lot of the guys are sick to death of Pappy shit because it was never meant to be that. It's a $65 bottle of booze that is now resale for anywhere between $500 and $2,000 depending on the year.
It's stupid.
Yeah. So it's good. It's not
fuck
bad.
your Pappy.
So what do I actually think is influencing culture? There's a whole lot of people that aren't special that want to figure out something that makes them special. Yep. So they go and do shit and they pick something that makes them part of some fucking community. And I'll throw some of my friends under there. They're fucking the bro vet community because you think that you're still hard even though you're fucking mostly squishy.
Hey.
I
resemble that remark.
I'm just saying.
Oh, I don't think I'm hard. I just know I'm squishy.
The fucking.
You have to own it. You did. So there
you need to ID me by my tattoos, and we just did a whole fucking show on tattoos and stuff like that. But like all of these people that pick this thing that is nothing more than a singular trait, and they try to build an entire fucking personality around it, mostly because you're probably a boring fucking human. That you are run of the mill and you are fucking normal. You're not special. You haven't accomplished anything. You're nothing. You are part of the 99.9% of fucking people out there that are never going to affect history. And the only way that you're going to become a decent human that anybody wants to be about is you better be around, is you better fucking get comfortable with that. You're not special.
The only thing that makes you special
and you're never
is
going
this
to do
fucking
anything
phone.
special. But because you can
In your
take a
video.
picture
Yep.
or you're going to do all this hashtag tattooed life or hashtag fucking come and take it or whatever. Look, motherfucker, you couldn't fucking run an eighth of a mile, let alone run a fucking rebellion. So let's fucking calm our tits, all right? You're not fucking special. But that's what drives everything is you're so convinced that you're an individual in this mass community, but you're just a fucking clone of all of it. Like
I try so hard to be special.
but you're not. You're not. You're not fucking special. I'm not fucking special. Nobody on this show is fucking special. I'm telling you right now.
I used to be.
I got help. I got help.
You're just not. You're not unique, and everybody's advertising and pictures and everything, and has convinced you that if you go do this thing, now you're on the cutting edge, or you're part of this subgroup, or you're this, that, and the other, and that's what gives you personality. And it's not. It's not about what the fuck you wear, or who the fuck you sleep with, or what the fuck tattoo you got, or that you know some fucking catchphrase, or whatever. Those aren't personality traits. They're not. What you're telling me is you have no personality because you've had to fucking clone it. You've had to clone something else to try and find something unique in you. It just means you're boring. So now you're just stealing it from everywhere else. So you want to know what fucking shapes culture? The want to be someone you're not. So you just clone as much shit as you can.
Goes back to the media.
And then you get called out on it, and it's like, no, you don't fucking know. I do. I do fucking know. Why? Because I'm not special. I am fucking run of the mill. I am fucking average. And I got comfortable with that several years ago.
I'm at least consistent.
See, that is
14 years
14
ago from
years
my
old, just
Facebook
says
memories.
fat and
It
sassy.
says, I'm fat and sassy.
Fucking nailed it. But
But if you what makes somebody special is like an example would be like Joe Rogan, right? I think Joe Rogan he doesn't try to be special. He doesn't go out of his way to market himself as anything that he's not. He just is who he is.
what's made him unique is he stopped giving a fuck.
Yes. And I think, like most of my best friends are they're just who they are. They don't try to be anything different than that. And I think that authenticity, I think, is what makes somebody special.
Absolutely. Well, it's what makes you unique. It's how I figured out, Jesus, what has it been? 4.5 years now? When did you move here? 4.5 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost.
And that's when I knew I wanted to be friends with you guys. Literally my first interactions with you dudes it was so just like, oh, there is no fucks given here. Like they don't give a shit. And I was like, those are the friends. It's why I became friends with Jim and stuff too. Like it's just, I know who these guys are, and they're not trying to be anything they aren't. Like they stopped giving a fuck. Whatever they thought they needed to prove, they got that out of their system fucking years ago. And now it's just as long as my immediate circle is cool with it, I don't give a fuck past that. Like,
Well, and I feel like, I don't know, like there was a time in my life, and I think there is a time in everybody's life when they feel like they have to prove something.
yep.
Yeah.
And there actually is a time in your life when you do have to prove something, right? And, like being in the military, right? We deployed, we did whatever. And that was enough to show myself that I can accomplish some things, right?
Right.
And that's all I needed. I don't need to prove it to anybody. If you ever meet me out and about, I'm not telling you a bunch of fucking war stories.
Mm-mm.
I'm not even telling you what I do unless it like comes up in an interesting conversation.
Half the time I'm like, they're like, oh, what do you do? I'm like, oh, I'm in the cigar industry.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Like because for one, I don't want to have this conversation with you because you're not in the cigar industry. You're not a smoker. You're not a consumer. And this would be a 45-minute waste of my life. And I really don't want to have this conversation with you. No, really. Like there's so much that goes into cigars, and the average person has no idea.
Yeah.
Sure.
And they ask two questions, and you give them just a little bit more information than they think they need to know. And then now you're stuck in a 45-minute conversation, and it's just like,
Well, like the people I find the most interesting are like like random people we met in fucking Nicaragua.
Oh, some of those are the best.
People have nothing to do with anything you've ever done.
Yes.
And you're like, that's fucking great.
Yeah. Like we sat down at a table in Nicaragua with a bunch of guys that were into Harleys. And the only reason we knew that is because Gary overheard what they were talking about. And it ended up being a great fucking conversation and shit with language barriers and all that. And
because Gary was over there just all like, "Donde está la biblioteca?"
Yo soy Mexicano.
There was a lot of that.
It's and I feel the same way when it's like, oh, what do you, oh, like I got in a powerlifting, I got in this. Like, I don't want to talk about working out. I know. Yeah. And like when with Rob, what did we tell he did for a living
gay
instead
porn.
of gay porn?
And it was amazing because he ran with it. But we've also done that before multiple times. But that, like, this dude, he's a fucking monster. Like, he is. And everybody's like, oh, I can't tell you how many times I've been in a bar in public with him and somebody will come talk to him and blah, blah, blah. And by the end of the conversation, like, can you pick me up? And he's like, I don't pick up people. Well, just this one. He's like, no, I don't. Yeah. I don't. I'm sorry. Like, no, like that. I don't. Stop asking. I don't do that.
He picked me up by accident.
He probably didn't even know.
Well, no, it's so Obi's a super, super nice guy. And the second time I met him, I don't know Obi. I've met him 3 times, and each time it's been in New Braunfels. You've invited me to come have drinks. Obi happened to be there. Yeah. But what Obi is very good at is if he's met you before, he remembers that he met you. Yeah. I don't know how he does it because I mean my interactions with him have not been.
Of the guy's head. He remembers a lot of shit. Space in there. He remembers a lot of shit.
The second time I met him, he came out and everybody did, like I showed up because all of us, we all love each other, or at least we fake it well. We all hug when we fucking see each other. And Obi came, so like I hugged Scott, I hugged you, I hugged Jim, and Obi was like, "Hey, it's good to see you again." And he went to go hug me, but he just like kind of like just did this, and I swear to God, I came like 6 inches something. I was like uppies. It was ridiculous.
Master Blaster.
Like it was, and so I was like, oh shit, I think I was 2 years old the last time a grown man picked me up like that. Like that was fucking ridiculous.
So we've gone a million places, and I don't even call him Obi. Like it's the same conversations, but if he find and he's a good example, just like Scott said, let's talk about something other than right. I mean, and it's getting ready to be in June, way fucking worse for him. Yeah. Way worse. Wait until we go out when he comes back after the show hits.
Yeah.
Okay. And it just sucks because that's how I just can't imagine being in Hollywood and being a big time actor and having to deal with that. Like you can't do shit. It's bad enough for him or any athlete. You just can't go anywhere and do anything. So I think that's what people see it though. They see,
and they want to talk about it. Yeah. They want to do whatever. Like I'm at the point now where I want to hear about what you do. What are you into? What like
even if it's something that I know, like, especially if it's something I know nothing about.
Oh, 100%. Like if you're some subject matter expert on something that I'm clueless about, like,
or you're really interested in, if the guy's a pilot, you love that shit. So you're like, oh, that's absolutely. Fucking, you fly small planes.
But like, I will talk about business if it's going to further my business
or whatever else.
Like if it's actually going to impact my business, I will talk about what I do for a living or whatever. But outside of that, I don't even want to talk about me. Like I have nothing to flex on. I have nothing to prove to you. I have nothing. But if you have a cool story or something you're really fucking into, like, tell me all about it. I want to know, but like show me why you're unique, and it better not be like,
I take videos.
I really like this brand, and I really do this, that, and the other.
Conversation with I have this many followers. I'm like, okay.
Or any of the. As soon as you start telling me like, have you ever shopped with these people because they really support our community and stuff, like I have checked out. Like as soon as it turns into you were buying shit to advertise what community you belong to, I'm out. You lost me. I'm gone.
To circle back on what Scott was saying earlier about going through a period in your life where you're proving something. I think what happens in that point of your life when you're actually like, whether it's for yourself or for somebody else, you eventually end up learning enough about yourself that you don't have to prove anything anymore.
Yeah. That's where it is. I think the honest, you're not trying to prove it to anybody but you. You just don't realize that's what you're doing. Well, until after you've done it.
You're going to be comfortable in your own skin at some point. You're like, this is as good as I'm going to get.
And I think
and I'm good.
If you can't prove it to yourself, then you continue to try to prove it to yourself by getting others to agree. You know, like, I don't know, like quiet professional. It's a thing, right?
Yeah.
Like most guys that have done a lot of shit in the military, they don't talk about it. But the guys that haven't done much, they talk about a lot all the time. And it's like, come on.
Yeah. I've met some of the most badass people that our generation in the military has to offer.
You don't find out about until the next day when somebody says, you know who you were talking to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like fuck.
Yeah.
Or you understand who they are and you know, there's public record, public knowledge about what they did.
Yeah.
But in the however many hours you spent hanging out and talking with them,
You didn't mention it at all.
none of it was brought up. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
But this has given people a medium who have not done all those things to kind of,
you know,
try to express themselves like that.
It's a double-edged sword though, because like, thank God that I know some of the people on social media because they're fucking hilarious.
Right.
Like, how would I ever know who some
perfect example, Caleb Francis.
Yes.
I have no idea what he did in the military.
I don't think he was in the military.
He didn't. Yeah.
No idea. No idea.
Yeah.
Dude's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Though.
Yeah. And the only thing I know about Caleb is through social media.
Yeah.
And through that, like I have a good idea of like, I think he's a good dude. Right?
I've had conversations with him. Like,
I actually got to spend a day with Caleb on set. Like when I was doing some behind the scenes photography work for a small episode or series that they were working on and everything. And I actually got to talk to him and share a cigar with him. Super nice dude. But he's actually the same exact way. He doesn't want to talk about where he started and where he is now. He he was asking me all about cigar stuff. And I was like, oh, like he genuinely wants to get to know whoever he's spending time with. And it was he's one of the few that I've met where I'm like, oh no, you're a really cool dude. As opposed to like I've very rarely ever gone somewhere where they're like, oh, this person's there, and you meet them and you're like, that's a really cool guy. Yeah. Like most of the time, if they've got a lot of attention,
it's a huge disappointment.
Yes.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm one of those people.
You're a huge disappointment.
Yeah.
I am disappointed in you most of the
You should be.
I can confirm.
Fails to live up to the low standards he sets for himself.
Super disappointment. When you meet him, you're just gonna be like, "What the fuck?"
Yes. I warn people too. I'm like, look, I'm not an easy person to be around. Like, I know exactly what I am.
Like Jack Mandeville's perfect example.
Yeah.
Right. He's been on the show multiple times. We've known Jack, 6-8 years. Longer, maybe? I don't even know.
I've known him a long time, yeah.
Right.
I've known him.
I didn't know what he did when he was in the military until the last show that he was on. And that was like, what, a month ago? You know, like, no idea.
Yeah.
I wasn't here, so I still don't know what he does. Guess I'm gonna have to go listen to the fucking episode.
The first time I met
Sorry, Jack.
The first time I met Jack, he had some blow up doll stuck to his crotch for every time I seen him.
I think the first time I met Jack, he introduced himself and he was like, by the way, I'm just a whore on camera. And I was like, okay.
I'll bet you. Was that,
works.
Was that in the time where he'd spell out his last name?
Yep.
Yeah. I fucking love that.
Yeah.
Yep. But I don't know. Just fucking, you're not special. Like, and all of this stuff that's like what shapes, I think that's what's shaping culture now is it's just whatever's fashionable, whatever little micro
you see how quickly we move
can,
on from things. It's like, oh, squirrel. And we're on to the next thing.
You know what I
whatever
can't
little
wait
micro
for?
community you think you're a part of because you ID'd with fucking 5% of it. So now that's your personality.
I can't wait for about 5 to 10 years from now when all these people that are right now that have a following on social media that have no other reason just because they post things on social media. When that trend dies, and then now they're that far along in life and have nothing else to do.
Yeah, but I think that people who are really good at social media are also good at life.
Well, ultimately, they're very good marketers.
So
you're going to end up figuring out how to sell.
Well, yeah,
whatever
everything's going to settle
right?
out, but there's going to be a lot of people who think they're at the top of their game right now who will have nothing. Like John says.
For example, the cop and his wife who shoot the things above their heads and it lands on their fucking
the epic,
right? But he's a cop. He's got a career.
Yeah.
You know, he just does it on the side, and like he's got nothing to prove. It's just fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
You know, like I appreciate that kind of content.
That's a little different though. Than he's not trying to shape people's opinion on anything.
He's just being hilarious.
He's being funny.
That's great.
Yeah.
I think you can also tell the people that are doing it for the sole purpose of attention.
Yeah.
And the people that are like, no, I'm trying to leverage this into like my career. Like someone like Caleb Francis, who he just posted funny content, but then was like, all right, now I can get into like screenwriting.
This is going to sound like a
and everything.
dickhead thing, but that's the dude that does all the different branches of service shit in his kitchen, right?
No, that's
No.
Nico Ortiz.
Who the fuck is Caleb Francis?
My favorite.
Just look at
Isn't this great? The only pseudo fame that we have is social media, and I fucking know nobody on social media.
My favorite character that he does is anytime he portrays a female, he literally takes a paper towel and puts it on his head. And that signifies him being a female.
It's just a fat white guy?
Skit. It's awesome.
Fat white dude with the chin beard or whatever. Okay, now I know who you're fucking talking about.
See, it was the
paper towel thing. Yeah,
he's going to be on the show.
Is he? Yeah. Like all the other people that have told us they're going to be on the fucking show. I'll believe it when they show up. That's where I am with humans now. Is everybody's like, oh yeah, I'll fucking jet. I'm like, okay, sure you will. Right.
And you'll be one of my 5 friends if you do actually come through.
If you actually show up. I might have 6 friends. It'll be fucking ridiculous. And then there's some people that have said that they'll be on the show, and I 100% believe them. Yeah. I also know that the logistics of it and the schedules and shit just don't work. Chef Rush.
Yeah.
Who's genuinely a good fucking guy, has told all of us, because we've met him at several events, and every time you run into him, he was like, I still want to be on your show. Like, he still knows he wants to come be on the show.
Yeah.
But he's on the East Coast. Like, the timing of figuring it out is fucking wild. Like, it's just 100%. If he was in town and had the hour, I totally believe he would show up and do it. I also understand why he can't.
Yeah.
Now there's some other people that are rather local.
Push-ups a day. That's why he can't go on the show.
He's too busy doing push-ups.
That's it.
There's some local people that have said that they'll come, that they just want, hey, I'm fucking calling you out. You know who you are. You don't listen to the show, but I'm going to say it anyways. You fucking know. I'm going to say that because I don't know him either.
There you go.
I've never met the man. But it could be a great dude. I have no fucking idea.
What was the question? What influences society?
Yeah, what's shaping modern culture? What are some
China and Russia?
No, I have another one. What is shaping modern culture is the loud 5% of the minority in this country.
I don't know if it's 5 even that big. Like
maybe.
Yeah, but I know where you're
like
going.
So all the woke stuff, like,
well, it's the other side too. It's like it's the 5% that are crazy left and the 5% that are crazy right. Are making all the noise, and then there's like the 90% in the middle that are all just like, would you please just shut the fuck up?
Yeah.
I want to earn a paycheck, go home at night. Like whatever you want to go do, they want to go do it and just be left the fuck alone.
Yeah.
And you can't because you're getting pulled in left or right directions and shit. And it's just
cities
constant.
are shaping society.
Yeah.
Major metropolitan areas are shaping society. And the reason that I think that they're shaping society is because they don't need, the people that live there don't need to do anything to survive.
Yeah.
It's literally life is the easy button.
Well, it's causing a problem for
society. It's actually why I love our city.
I need to get a job. And once I have a job, that's it. I can get a job doing anything. And I don't care what it is because I just need the money so I can do all the other things I want to do.
Yeah.
So they have this mindset that's not even living, right? They're enjoying the time that they have, but they don't even really know what they're living for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're just like, oh yeah, I live in New York City. It's great.
I live for this right now.
Yeah.
This is what I live for.
Yeah. See?
It's this.
Mondays at 4:30.
That's actually, no.
It's this little circle where
you live for that black thing on 2 wheels outside.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. Like
it's a game changer.
It really is. And it was an obsession of mine for like 20 fucking years.
But
and
it's
now
a game
I have
changer. But
everything I do now is to stay on that.
You look at society, right? Harley's, for the past 10 years, Harley's been going through this very weird era of trying to figure out how to sell motorcycles because the newer generations aren't buying them.
Right. medium age, 47 now. It was. I think it was literally 45 when I had this conversation like 10 years ago. It was like 47.
But they're not buying them.
Yeah.
Ride or don't ride. Go to a Harley dealership on a Saturday, and just look around and see what the group looks like.
Oh yeah,
and it's not 23 and 24-year-old.
Nope.
Fuck the world. I'm going to go do my own thing.
But they're not even doing it with sport bikes.
No.
That's the thing.
What's weird, right? Yeah.
You know, and it's because I just need my scooter that I can rent with my app.
Yes.
To get down to the street, or I'll just take an Uber. Or those are dangerous.
They don't drive. They don't fucking drive. It's not like I want to get strapped to a muscle car like you did when you were a kid and be like, I'm going to fucking get this 78.
But
you always get that
79.
79. Like kids aren't doing that.
But and I think like the I don't even know the word for it. The culture inside of major metropolitan areas has just adapted to the point where people, if it's not in your immediate
3 blocks,
10 block vicinity,
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
You know,
it's one of the things I really like about living in this city, because we're the 7th largest city in the U.S. And you don't see that as much. This is like, there's still not a lot of culture.
When's the last time you went inside 1604, inside the loop?
I go in quite a bit.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say is, but you still see pockets of it. Like the whole Pearl area. There's literally people that live there now because there's these big companies that have moved in downtown and they live in the Pearl because they don't need to own a car.
Mm-hmm.
And they live above all those shops. So they do all the shopping down below. That's where they get all their food, everything. They live in some little trendy little loft thing that's just a concrete box with a leather couch in it. And that's their whole fucking life.
Yep.
And then they ride a scooter down to wherever, or they Uber over to whatever they need. And
that's it.
That's their whole, and they never leave that 10 block circle.
Nope.
And
like the highlight of their adventure in Texas is going to Fredericksburg. They go to like get on a fucking Greyhound bus and do like the wine shit. You're like, oh, we did this big adventure. Like,
I love when I talk to people and they're like, oh, we're going to spend the weekend and go up to New Braunfels. I'm like, it's 20 minutes down the fucking road.
Yeah.
That's not a weekend. That's fucking, I drive that far to get to the grocery store. Or like,
I do it every weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking wild, but it's just, it's this obsession with whatever little microculture you think makes you unique.
What's convenient.
Well, like right now you have one of the worst cities, San Francisco. Like they're fucked, right? They want to give $5 million reparations in San Francisco. And like people are like,
wait a minute.
How is San Francisco going to afford
Did California didn't even exist during slavery in the US.
So that's the thing. So I read an article and they basically said, you're never going to do this because the city would go bankrupt.
They're already bankrupt.
There's more shit to it than just the 5 million, but it's just for a small group of people to make a bunch of money on books and the grievance shit. It's never, these people are never going to get their 5 million. You're never going to be able to figure out it wasn't a slave state. All that shit, all the historical shit, you're never going to be able to do it. But somebody is going to get rich off of
running that program.
The proposal itself is enough to make somebody be able to sell a book, get on the radio, get on TV,
or make their career
on that, fighting for the next 20 years to do that.
Yeah.
The people who need the money or could possibly even are never going to get that money. So fucking forget it. Not to mention the fact that California is completely bankrupt and there's never going to be able to do that.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing that people in today's day and age have forgotten is nothing is actually free.
Yeah.
Right.
Nothing is free.
Yeah.
There's free money. And COVID is the perfect example of it. Like, oh, I got my COVID check.
Yeah.
Well,
look at free money.
That's
not how it works.
Look at inflation.
That's not how it works.
I bet you've spent more in inflation.
Everybody called it.
Yeah.
Everybody called it when they were going to do the stimulus checks.
Yeah.
2 years of stimulus checks. And it was like, this is going to, we're going to pay for this later.
Yeah.
And it was 24 months.
Yeah.
And then you guys are like, everybody was,
it.
this is the greatest thing. Can you buy a house now? No, because fucking interest rates are fucking whatever they are. I mean, it's fucking ridiculous.
You know what's terrifying? If you do the math on it, it is cheaper to buy a house right now with the interest rates where they are than to wait a year and wait for the interest rates to go down, because housing prices are still escalating so fast that even if the interest rate dropped by 3 points, you will still spend more on the house buying it later than paying the interest rate now.
If interest rates drop, the only reason the interest rates are going to drop is because our entire country is in a massive recession.
Yep.
And if it's in a massive recession, you wait 6 months and those homes will be half the price.
And that's the biggest problem now is, and we're getting into a fucking rabbit hole, but yeah, you bought a house at that's $600,000 now. It was a $300,000 or
That's the other thing
$400,000.
that's the other
couple
thing
years
that's
ago.
shaping culture is what did it cost?
Yeah.
Everybody's defining themselves off what the fuck it cost. Everybody wants to tell you what they spent on it. And it's like, who fucking
You know what
cares?
I tell people? I've had a handful of people ask me how much was my house?
About 4 years of fucking
No. I tell them,
sweating your dick off working for it. That's about what it cost.
No, I tell them look it up.
Yeah, sure.
You can.
Yeah.
Look at it. You want to know? You want to know that bad? Put the time and effort in. Go look it up.
It's an uncomfortable conversation. Some people have no problem telling.
No, man, I
Really,
genuinely don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
But
I get mad at my kids when they ask how much shit it cost.
yeah,
And I shouldn't. I should use it as a teaching moment.
I don't get it. So it's
but
like, you guys knew about my goal with the motorcycle. And I finally got my motorcycle. Able to ride it or whatever. Do you know what question nobody has ever asked me? Is what that bike cost.
dude,
All of
nobody
you just came
cares.
out and were like, looks great, super happy for
Yeah.
you. Da-da-da. Didn't matter what that bike cost me. It was hey, I'm happy for you. What you did? That's because you're poor.
If you have to ask, you can't afford it.
I swear, Gary just comes here to be abused. Right? But we don't kink shame, buddy.
You can look it up on your Boost
No,
mobile
nobody
phone.
wants a deal. Like it's almost like, oh, I paid full price, and like they're happy about that shit. It's not, I got a deal, I got this, I got that.
I'll bet you get it more than any of us do. And about the Humvee.
Right. It
Right?
was
Same
more-
thing.
yeah.
Not a single person here ever asked you.
It's less about it's for me, it's making sure the fucking key turns when I fucking turn the thing. That's like my biggest victory. Oh, everything's fucking working.
I think the only thing I'm aware cost wise on that Humvee is after you got the stereo replaced. And I think
for the 40th fucking time.
And I think it only came up in conversation because of how mad you were about what it cost to get your stereo squared away.
I was so happy that I
Nobody
solved
asked.
almost.
He just told us.
I didn't ask about
It's
it.
because I kind of solved my own problem getting that fucking generator after fucking years of being, because the 24 volt system is so infuriating that I had to go on forums and do, because I don't know how to do any of that shit.
Did you ever think about buying a vehicle that doesn't suck?
I do. I have one. It's sitting out there in
The
fucking,
Ford?
No, my fucking Challenger.
Like I said, did you ever think about buying a vehicle that doesn't suck?
I have a Dodge and I have a Ford and I have my Humvee. The Humvee starts all the time. It's just being able to run the rest
Hey,
of
if
it.
this was baseball, you're batting a 330. So
And that's fucking great,
solid.
dude.
Yeah,
I can do that. I can get a fucking $400 million contract batting fucking 330, pal. No, I kind of solved my own problem, which I was very proud of because I'm not mechanically inclined. However, there was a lot of money to get to that point, and it's a pain in the ass. But just the fact that the fucking thing starts when I fucking turn the key is a
It does
victory.
work. It does run.
Yeah. And I can smoke
But-
my cigars in it.
Yeah,
I'm
I
so
think that's
happy
it.
for that.
People are defining themselves off of subcultures and what they spent.
you know how you smoke
And-
in a Challenger?
I know how you smoke in the
I
show.
own it. And I smoke in the Challenger.
So that's let's talk about that for a minute.
Who
Jess,
told
you
you you
smoke in
can't-
your vehicle?
Yes.
Justin, you smoke in your vehicle?
Yes.
I don't. Not in that one.
And why?
Because I don't want to fuck up the vehicle.
Because you want to save it for the next guy, right?
I know what you're saying. No,
Is that
I
why
know
you don't
nobody's
bang your
ever
own
going to
lady?
own that car again. Like that's my car.
So why don't you smoke in it?
How
How are you going to fuck it up?
By the way, this
I'm
isn't an
not-
acid-based smoke. It's a base smoke, so it doesn't etch the fabric like cigarettes
That's
do.
fine. It's leather anyway.
So you can wipe it off.
I know. That's why I have the Humvee. That's why I drive the Humvee way more than I ever thought I was going to ride in the Humvee, because I can smoke, throw a dog in. It's
This is like
wonderful.
saying you're not going to bang your own lady because you're saying it for the next guy.
You're just going to cuddle, right?
I'm just going to cuddle. I don't want to mess it up.
because I'm that guy as far as that car goes.
You are that guy.
I love that fucking car.
You're a Dodge driver through and through, buddy.
Well, if they weren't going to if they were going to continue to make them, maybe not a big deal. However, they're no longer going to make them, so fuck it, I'm not doing it.
Do they make a tow mirror package for it?
They still pull out, even on
They
the
flip up?
Challenger. They still pull out.
There's been a few times I almost broke down. I'm like, man, I'd like to be able to smoke in here. I just won't do it.
Yeah.
Maybe someday I will.
I smoked in every vehicle I've ever owned.
Yeah,
I've smoked in cars that I didn't own.
Oh, I mean, yeah, there's that
It's
too.
like fucking.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh.
It's either don't smoke or $25 at the wash tub and they make it go away. Like that's so.
We almost fucking had a fucking massacre in our wash tub because they didn't clean my wife's. It was awful. They just mail it in now. no matter how much you spend. So
yeah, I definitely smoke in my truck. I don't smoke on the bike because it's difficult.
Yeah, I've tried. It's not for lack of trying.
It's not a lack of desire. It's the effort. Just
no. There's a guy that makes this apparatus that goes around the cigar.
No,
but he's very, very, very proud of them.
Yeah,
they work. But I don't need to smoke a cigar
I've
that
smoked
bad.
on fucking horseback.
Yeah.
No, it'd be way worse to burn your horse than your car.
Absolutely. I'm just very careful. Very careful with the horse. My horses don't really. You're
never going to get the smell out of the mane, though. That's just like fucking.
She's not going to buck that. Those two aren't going to buck me off.
I noticed the smell in my camera bag more than anything. Like I'll get in the truck and it smells fine, and I'll take my camera bag home that's sat in our office that we smoke in 24/7. It's been here for 2 weeks. I open that shit up in my office at home, and I'm like, motherfucker.
When I finally took my big camera bag, from that sat in the old studio for like 2 years because all the cameras were living in it. It still hasn't aired out. That thing is still just like, all right.
Until you throw that away, that will forever smell like cigars.
No, you know what? I guarantee you I could just Febreze it and it'd go away.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Fucking A.
But it doesn't
what's that
bother
shit
me.
you use?
Ozium.
Ozium
works.
I have a little Ozium can in the console of my truck.
Yeah. I have a butane can.
I need to put one of those in too.
Yeah.
The worst smoking incident in the car we've ever had was when the lighter wouldn't shut off.
Oh my God. Yeah, that was bad.
We had to throw it out the window.
Oh my God.
It wouldn't quit.
I had a lighter and I lit it and I lit my cigar and we were driving to the other side of San Antonio for something. So we were in the car for like a little over an hour.
Yeah.
And I probably an inch and a half into my cigar. So 15, 20-ish minutes.
Sure.
And I had this, I lit my cigar and I just set my lighter down like this. And we're bullshitting and I didn't even know what the fuck we were talking about. We were talking. And all of a sudden I'm like, well, my fucking leg is warm. And I look down and I'm like, that's fucking hot. And I grabbed my lighter and it was like almost burning my fingers hot. And then I realized that it's still on. And I was like, and then I just immediately rolled the window and just chucked it. And Scott was like, what the fuck? I'm like, sorry. I'm like, I just burnt the truck down.
The only vehicle I think I've ever owned that I'm not sure they were ever going to get the smell out was when I was still on the road as a rep for a cigar company. And I was doing like 60,000 miles a year in my car as a rep. And
how many miles?
Like 60,000 a year?
A year. Dave, take notes.
I knew where we're coming with that one.
So I was doing like 60,000 a year. And that was mid-Atlantic. So talking the Carolinas, Virginia and West Virginia, 60,000 miles a year in that bubble. So you can fit that in Texas like twice. So
there's nothing straight in West Virginia. So
nope. It's also the only time I've ever seen a goat on a leash. Like that shit was West Virginia's a different animal. But that one, because I'd get up in the morning, shower, put my suit on, get my espresso, lit my first cigar, and the cigar didn't go out until I was like pulling into the hotel parking lot.
Right.
Like, so that one, when I traded that Jeep in, I think that was, I don't know if they were ever getting that out of that Grand Cherokee. I think that was in the steel at that point. Like it was just.
I will also say though, like a cigar on a road trip is so fucking nice.
It is amazing.
Like I've always enjoyed a nice road trip, but being able to also just light up a cigar, crack the windows, like it's so pleasant. It's one of my favorite times.
I'm also one of those people. I love driving and smoking a cigar.
Well, that
and when Warfighter had the ash cans, the cup holder ashtray, and I have mine, and it lives in my truck. And I crack my windows to let
it's wonderful
to let the smoke out.
And you can get yours at warfightertobacco.com under the accessories tab and use that code FTFO to score yourself a sweet 15% off.
But I had the shitty Zycar one for a while with like the screw top.
Yeah.
That shit
defeats the whole fucking purpose.
But that one that I can like flip and it holds my cigar and shit like that. And I still just ash into that instead of ashing out the window because I'm like,
it's better.
It's just better. It's healthier for the cigar. It's all that kind of stuff.
You know where your ash is going.
I ash in the ashtray, and then when I'm done with the cigar, I throw the rest of the cigar out the window because the ash doesn't smell. It's the cigar that smells. So if you leave your ashtray filled with cigar butts in your car,
it's the residue smell.
That is what's going to make your car stink when you get back into it. But if it's just ash and you throw the butts out of the window, then like my truck doesn't smell.
Sure.
Nope. And if mine does, it's for like 12 hours after I've smoked, and then it doesn't smell like anything afterwards. It just goes away. So, but yeah, I don't know. What the fuck were we talking about?
Who the fuck knows?
Society.
Yeah, fuck it.
That's
All
what the
right.
masturbator.
I need a little something to fucking. Look, sharing is caring. Thank you, sir.
Whatever.
I'm gonna raise my glass.
Sure.
Say thank you to you boys for being my
Cheers.
freedom friends.
I got a little bit of spit left in this one.
Like, share, subscribe, smash all those buttons. Tell your mom.
Tell your friends.
Tell your fucking mom's friends. That there's this mediocre show out there that will tell you information you didn't need to know.
Yeah.
Until then, you already plugged Warfighter, so that's done. We did it at the beginning. Do we really need to pay the bills twice?
No, fuck it.
The cards have already popped up by now. So.
Ah, fuck it. So
All
we're
those
all
things
good.
that were down there.
So in the meantime,
20 minutes ago.
3 little things. John,
Smoke on.
Jim,
Drink on.
and God damn it, boys.
Freedom the fuck on.